welcome to another video on the JayBee
Hey.
and Milly channel. Today we are going to be reviewing another episode of Scooby Doo and Guess Who, and today's episode is What a Night for a Dark Night. Now, I must start by saying I love the name of this episode.
It's very fitting. In fact, I think it's probably the best title that we've had so far. I think maybe the Weird Allosaurus might edge it because it's a bit punnier, but this one is just goes back to legacy, makes sense because of the Dark Knight. But this is my favourite one so far.
You're crazy. I'm gonna say that doesn't begin to compare with this
It
one.
could do. It could.
I love how it calls back to the original Scooby. It's amazing. Anyway, so no surprise, the guest here is gonna be Batman. So,
Ooh.
JayBee, what's your thoughts? I guess we normally start by saying how familiar we are with the guest. I think everybody's familiar with Batman in some capacity, right?
Yeah, like, it's an interesting one, because whenever we've reviewed something like Scooby Doo meets Batman, Scooby Doo meets Batman Brave and the Bold, and recently Scooby Doo and Crypto 2, I've always hammered home how much of a DC fan that I'm not, because it's not something I'm familiar with, it's not a world that I'm accustomed to. But I think when it's just Batman, like in a self-contained story, at least this version or a more brooding version like this, I am generally more familiar with it because I am a fan of the Christopher Nolan movies, Batman Begins, Dark Knight Rises. They're all absolutely incredible in my eyes, so I'm definitely more accustomed to the world of Batman than I am normally with things. And I've played all the Lego Batman games, and Lego games, you get a whole cast of characters, so I kind of know basic backstories for about 150 Batman villains, so I was quite excited when this was going to Arkham Asylum and stuff, so I'd say I'm relatively familiar with Batman, and obviously we saw that one together, the Batman.
Yeah, I think, like I say, everyone's going to be familiar with Batman. I will say that normally we approach a Batman or any DC collaboration with Scooby really with a bit of hesitancy because it's not normally our favourite thing, but like you said, I think this more kind of serious take on Batman makes it a little bit more digestible than this kind of over-friendly kind of vibe that you sometimes get. So I always like when there is kind of a relative of the gang involved. So to hear that they're going to see Daphne's uncle that second removed the butler or something like that.
I love that they made Alfred Daphne,
Alfie, or Uncle Alfie.
Daphne is like, I guess, surrogate adopted, like just, I guess, uncle in name only, because Alfred is awesome. Like, there's an Alfred show I want to watch, but I just, I don't have time. And he was played by Michael Caine in those movies with I've just said it, but yeah, I'm blanking on it now because I'm ill. But yeah, Alfred's great, and to tie Alfred with Daphne was such a cool moment. I just love that.
I think you have to say that this is certainly done by a good Batman fan. Like, there's some really nice little kind of honourable mentions and things like that to just the Batman kind of franchise and, just kind of that area that I think is, I don't know, it makes it really quite true to itself.
I just wish we'd got Anne Hathaway back as Catwoman, because that was one of my main canon events. It was
moving swiftly on. So Uncle Alfie isn't at the kind of manor when they get there. So they start to look around, and that's when we see Batman, who, for no really decent reason, kind of throws bats at the gang and ties them up.
I guess there kind of is a reason, because we're in Wayne Manor, and so this is spoiler alert for you, Milly, because I don't think they make it explicitly clear in...
I know who Bruce Wayne is.
Yeah, Bruce Wayne is the Batman. I mean, that's like a hot take, maybe. It's just my theory.
We saw the Batman together!
Yeah, but that was Robert Pattinson. So,
yeah, exactly!
Yeah. So, I would say, if there's a bunch of people you don't know, you've not entrusted with your identity, they've burst into your house and you're kind of like, oh, how do we stop them from snooping? And you're trying to conceal your identity. I would say get them, all tied up and stop them from meddling as quickly and as efficiently as you can. Probably a good idea, right?
Yeah, but we also need to remember the gang are meant to be kids. Not kids, but young, like, teens.
Yeah, but there's lots of them.
Still.
There's a difference between one teen and a bunch of teens.
Yeah, still though.
It gets scary, you know what I mean? Like, divide and conquer, safety
But-
in numbers.
Like you said, they soon work out that it's not the gang. The claw prints don't kind of line up, and then they split up to look for clues. Is it Batman goes to Arkham Asylum?
Yeah.
Which is kind of fun to see, like you said, and also the gang go on their more kind of traditional, quirky path, where they kind of come face to face with the villain. They get that little hallway sequence again. One thing that I'm confused about is why they did that in winter clothes.
Huh.
I remember just looking at the screen and they were kind of walking around in ski gear, and I was a bit baffled.
Yeah, I don't know.
But other than that, it was fun. It's always good to see those little hallway sequences added in and everything. And Velma gets kidnapped again. They're kind of making a habit of this at the minute with Velma. 2 episodes back to back.
Yeah, I forgot Velma did get kidnapped.
Yeah, because there's this quite nice moment that I kind of have to give Fred credit for, where he's like, "Oh, you can take Uncle Alfie, but you can't take Velma. She's one of us."
Yeah, she's one of our own. And then that's when Scooby has that awesome thing where it's like, "Oh yeah," and Shaggy was like, "Oh, what's up, dude? What's up, dude?" And Velma was like, "My glasses, my glasses." And then the man bat broke my phone. That's something actually that was just, we had the animatic of that. That was one of my favourite behind the scenes.
Controversially, I don't know that I like the aesthetics of the villain in this. The Batman. Not the Batman.
The Batman.
But the man that's a bat.
The man bat.
Yeah.
Well, I said this. I had a toy of the man bat, and it was the coolest thing. It had red eyes, big ears. It was like pretty much all white except for the wingspan, which was all grey. That to me was just such a cool looking thing. And if you think the Dark Knight is the Dark Knight because he's dark, it's all black costume. He hides in the shadows. In fact, he was born in the shadows. Like you know what I mean? Like he's a really brooding agent of justice for the nighttime. But so to have the reverse of that be the Man Bat, who is all bright and light and those polar opposites, I think that works a lot nicer than what this thing was. I mean, it wasn't not Man Batley, but it was more. It was like a weasel, like a flying furry weasel. Like a werewolf got wings.
And of course we need to talk about the unmasking of this villain as well. So there is a triple unmasking here. First, it's some blonde guy, and I can't remember who it was.
Yeah, I forgot the name, but
Then
it's the comic book identity of the Man Bat.
Then it's Uncle Alfie.
Yeah, which actually upset me because I fell for that. It upset me.
I didn't like. One of the Batman things is the Joker always turns up, right? Like, they don't ever not do it, so why would they not do it here? Kind of interesting bit where him and Daphne have a conversation about makeup tips.
I like that. Because it was a bit kooky, it was a bit wacky, but I'd say like my criticism was, it always has to be the Joker. Like we can't have Penguin, we can't have the Riddler, we can't have Clayface. I'm just trying to flex who I know. We can't have the Mothman. You know what I mean?
This isn't tenable. We don't need you to list 10 villains from Batman. Like, calm down.
No one's gonna understand what Tenable is.
I don't even know what tenable is. It just sounded right.
Isn't it Warwick Davis?
I don't know.
Well, yeah. Well, Tenable aside, Warwick Davis aside. What was I saying? No, okay. Let me stop.
Oh,
Stop.
God.
Don't interrupt me. So, obviously, it's the Joker. So if we're gonna do the Joker, let's have a little spin on it, or let's add some lore implications. And so to have the Joker connect with Daphne is cool. And also, I believe this is Mark Hamill Joker. And sadly, voice of Batman in this, Kevin Conroy, has semi-recently passed away. I think it's just over a year now. Because that iteration of Batman was so tied to Mark Hamill's Joker. I think Mark Hamill retired as the Joker as well when that happened. So I think it's a great timepiece as far as that's concerned. And something that Chris Bailey said in the first interview was there was a bit of a traditional, like, holy mystery Batman type of Batman in the original Scooby Doo movies. And so for this to be a bit more of that dark, brooding Batman, definitely more my cup of tea.
Certainly.
For sure.
And obviously, all's well that ends well. We end up back at the manor with Uncle Alfie making them dinner.
And that's just really cool as well because it's a turkey dinner as well. So I think for the American audiences out there, which is the majority of our listener base, you could almost interpret this if you wanted to as a Thanksgiving episode or a Thanksgiving special. Because I assume, when do people eat turkey? Christmas, which there's no indication it's Christmas. They're in a shopping mall.
There's a skiing scene with the winter outfits.
No, but it's a shopping mall, isn't it? You know, our local shopping mall is completely decked out, so it's going to be Thanksgiving.
So, JB, for you, is this episode a smash or pass?
This might be one of my favourite episodes, you know. Like, I'm really not normally a DC guy, and I said this in the crypto one, I just feel like this one does it a lot better. It's cleaner. It's more my genre of superhero. Like, to me, I could watch this episode anytime. And I just wish there was more to it because we've wrapped up talking about it and we're just over like the 10-minute mark. Just because it was so quick, I just want more of it, to be honest. That's my only criticism. So, yeah, this is a big smash for me. Obviously, it's been a while between recordings, but I'm semi-confident in saying that this is at least in my top 3 Guess Who episodes so far. So, big smash for What a Night for a Dark Night. Now, Millie, before my voice completely goes, do you smash or pass What a Night for a Dark Night?
Oh, it's so awkward because I feel like we've just reached a stage in the show where it's 2 episodes I don't particularly like for when we're announcing the guests, so I feel terrible, but DC's just never resonated with me, and so instantly it kind of switches a part of my brain off. I think my favourite part of this episode has to be the title. I love the title, but from there it's just there's nothing that really clicks with me. I don't know, I feel so terrible saying it, but for me this one's a pass, but there are so many good episodes in this series that I really do like, and I just feel like we've just reached a couple of episodes that just aren't for me, and I think it's terrible timing. But unfortunately, this one's a pass for me. But we're moving on to positive things. Something that most certainly is not a pass and was an absolutely incredible interview is the interview we have going out this week. We did announce in our review yesterday that we will be interviewing Chris Bailey. But not only Chris Bailey, as this is part of the Christmas reunion specials, we will also be interviewing Mike Milo.
Yeah, and let me just say, for everything that Chris Bailey can't really remember, Mike Milo is right there with the context and the answers. I think it's a great double act sticking on with this theme. It is amazing because it is literally like 2 halves of one jigsaw, so it was absolutely amazing to connect both of them. We actually learned some things that we've never heard or seen anywhere else, so it is absolutely incredible. I'll leave that linked in the description down below. The premiere should be set up now, so make sure to turn the notification bells on and get that sorted. So yeah, thank you so much for listening to another review on the JayBee Milly channel. If you do want to see more, then please like, comment and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.